Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our roadmaps webinar. We are going to walk through some best practices on how to get your internal and external roadmaps set up. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Before we do, I just wanted to let you know that we have a little Q&A functionality. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to use that. Our lovely Sarah is going to be answering all of your questions today. So feel free to use that. And I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Julia. I am the Customer Success Manager here at Canny. I'll be walking you through today's session. We also have our amazing Sarah, who is our technical support lead here at Canny. And as mentioned, she's going to be answering all of your questions today. So please feel free to utilize that functionality. Any questions that we aren't able to answer, we will flag them at the end, and Sarah and I will both collectively answer the questions. Great, let's jump into it. So I'm so excited to walk you through some tips on how to get the most out of roadmaps, along with just a few insights of how other teams are using roadmaps, how we're seeing our customers use it. And so this session is to help you feel confident using internal and external roadmaps. So in today's call, we're going to first talk about the differences between internal and external. We'll focus on internal roadmaps first. We'll talk about how to send feedback to your roadmap, how to prioritize it, score it, different ways you can do so, helpful ways to organize your feedback as well. And we'll also show you how to create different views for different audiences. And then finally, how you can push that to your dev tool if you're on the right plan. And then we'll also talk about the external facing roadmaps, walk you through how to set that up, and make sure you feel confident using it. Again, we are recording this call, so feel free to take any screenshots you like, but we will be sending this after along with the deck. And then as mentioned, please feel free to ask any questions you have in that little Q&A chat. Cool. Let's talk about it. So as we all know, roadmaps are essential for every product manager's process because they help communicate what's being worked on and when. They also make it really easy to prioritize work based on data-driven decisions and teams' insights. It's that famous saying of art and science. And roadmaps are not only valuable for internal alignment, but of course, it's also helpful to communicate what your team is working on and progress with your customers. So in Canny, we have two types of roadmaps. Number one, we have the internal roadmap, which is used by your team to plan and organize your work. And then we have the external facing roadmap, which is a place where you can share updates with your customers. But we'll focus on internal roadmaps first. And again, internal roadmaps is where you can plan and prioritize your upcoming work internally. So you can find the roadmap in your navigation bar. It's just labeled, it's the tab labeled roadmap. If you're just getting started, you'll notice that there's a roadmap that's already been created for you. It's called My First Roadmap. You're welcome to change the name of that. You'll see three little dots next to the title of the name. If you click on that, it will prompt you to a little area where you can change the name of the roadmap. Otherwise, you can create a brand new roadmap by clicking on the drop-down button and clicking on Create New Roadmap. One important thing is making sure you add the right posts or pieces of feedback to the right roadmap. There are three main ways that we can do this. Number one is manually, so we push one post at a time. Number two is bulk pushing your feedback in, so selecting a few posts at a time and pushing that into a roadmap. Or we can set up an automation which will automatically push your feedback for you. But we'll focus on manually pushing your feedback first. To manually push in your feedback, you would head over to the post you want to add. On the bottom right-hand side, you can choose which roadmap you want to add that feedback to. In this example, we're choosing the go-to-market roadmap. And then that's it. It's been added to your roadmap. And we can validate that it's been added if we click on that roadmap. It will link us to the actual roadmap tab, and we can validate that piece of feedback has been added here. You can also bulk add feedback as mentioned. So if you hold shift in the right-hand side of your mouse, you'll see some bulk actions appear on the right-hand side here. So we can send to a roadmap. Again, we're going to choose the go-to-market team roadmap. And then that's it. It's been added to your roadmap. Super simple. One little tip for you is if you would like to create roadmaps based on the different product areas, and your boards also represent different product areas, what you can do is use the filters on the left-hand side to only show that one board. And then from there, you can bulk select all of the posts within that specific board and push it to the appropriate roadmap. One really helpful tool is automation. It helps reduce manual work like pushing feedback into your roadmap. To create an automation, head over to your settings, click on new automation, click a new rule, and then we can create a rule that says anytime a post comes in from this specific board, push it to this specific roadmap. And that's all. Super simple, and it takes away a lot of manual work for you. And so now any time a piece of feedback matches that rule, it will automatically be added to the right roadmap. Once your posts are added, you will see them added in as like a list view. And on the right-hand side, you will see like a spreadsheet style view. This is where you can review the posts details. You can add your own scores and include any additional context that matters to your team. In my roadmap, I have added the number of votes, a segment showing how many high value customers had voted on something, and the total annual revenue represented by those voters. And each of these columns are called impact factors. So let's walk through what that means. As we all know, when it comes to prioritization, as I said earlier, it's a mix of art and science. And we need a simple way to capture real data, like how many customers are asking for this. But we also need a way to capture our gut feeling on how confident we are this feature will be well received. And so that's where impact factors come in. An impact factor is just a field that you can fill out that helps to measure how important or valuable a feature is. Impact factors are then used as part of a prioritization score that helps you decide on what you need to focus in on first. So let me explain a little bit further. When you create a new impact factor, you need to choose the type, which is how you want to measure it. So for example, we might want to measure 1 to 10, 1 to 100 by percentage, etc. That choice will then feed into your score. Next, we need to add a weight, and a weight controls how much each factor counts towards the final score. Some factors matter than others sometimes. And so, sorry, that's where weight kind of helps to showcase that. And in the end, Canny adds up all of those scores and weights and gives you one clear prioritization score. And this helps you see which ideas have the biggest impact and what should be built first. So running through an example quickly, first we'll head over to score to create a new impact factor. Let's say we want to build out a rice score. So we'll build out reach and impact for an example. So first we'll create an impact factor called reach. Then we can choose the type of scale we want to use. The options are 1 to 10, 1 to 100, Fibonacci, stars, which is like t-shirt sizing, checkbox, and percentage. But for this example, we'll go with 1 to 10. Next, we'll do the same for impact. So we'll type in impact, we'll give it 1 to 10 for this example, and we'll give it a weight of 2 because we want it to have a little bit more importance. Now maybe we want to include the total number of users, so we can select the built-in impact factor called user votes. And here we can also choose a segment if we want to. So for example, if we wanted to focus in on high-value customers, this is our opportunity to do so. It will show us how many of those votes are high-value customer votes. Next, we'll add in the effort. So usually effort is meant to represent the amount of engineering work required to build out this feature. You can use the same scales, 1 to 10, 1 to 100 Fibonacci, but we always recommend sticking to 1 to 10 just because it's a lot simpler. Once all of our impact factors are in place, we can start scoring our work. And you'll see as we start to score our work here, you'll see on the right-hand side something called score. And in Canny, a score is the total result of your impact factors combined, and it will show you which features bring the most value compared to the effort required. The higher the score, the more likely it is that that feature should be prioritized. So you'll see the score start to change as we kind of change our numbers here. If you want to learn more about how we score our work, if you head over to Score, click on that little link that's embedded at the top there, you'll see an article called How Do Prioritization Factors in Scoring Work. It will give you a breakdown of the math involved, how we score everything, or of course, you can always reach out to our support team. We're always happy to help. If you are new to scoring your work, some common places to start include looking at the number of votes, the total annual revenue, creating a segment maybe for your high value customers, looking at the impact involved and how much effort is involved by your engineering team. If you're looking for some inspiration on other product scoring methods, here are a few that you can explore. So the first is RICE, which is what we were looking at earlier, which stands for Reach, Impact, Confidence, and Effort. And it helps you compare ideas by looking at how many users will be reached, how valuable this feature will be, and how confident you are in your estimates. So that's a really common score that we see a lot of customers use. Next is the Canoe model, which focuses on customer happiness. So it helps you see which features are must-haves, what are improved performance, and what are like features that will delight your customers. And at a very high level, it's about weighing all of your features against how much benefit or delight your customers will have from this feature and the effort and cost required to build them. The last option or idea that we are suggesting is jobs to be done. And this method looks at what customers are actually trying to do, like what are their goals and what are their outcomes that they want. And so it helps you choose features that make it easier for your customers to reach their goals. You can think of it like when X happens, I want Y to happen so I can do Z. So for example, in Canny, you could create an impact factor that looks at the total users who voted for that feature, and which helps to answer the question of, does this feature help an important job for many of our users? You can create an impact factor called urgency, which helps to measure how painful is this particular feature right now, and what would happen if we don't build this feature. If you want to learn more, please feel free to reach out to our support team. Again, we're always happy to have a quick chat about this. And yeah, hear more about what you would like to, you would like to accomplish. But each of these different methods bring a slightly different lens to prioritization. So you give it a little experiment, let us know what you think, and let us know if you have any questions. You can also customize the roadmap view by toggling data on and off. And you can also group your roadmap by different attributes. So I personally prefer to group my roadmap by statuses because the go-to-market team really only needs to see what's being worked on and when. And speaking of which, let's talk about audience-specific roadmaps. So we really recommend creating audience-specific roadmaps. You can create them by adding specific posts, by the data you toggle on and off, and how you group your roadmap. And these roadmaps let you share the right information with the right people. So each team can focus on what matters to them most without feeling overwhelmed by everything else. So for example, you can create a go-to-market team roadmap. So the GTM team can see which features are being launched soon, which helps your go-to-market team members inform their customers, maybe also plan their marketing campaigns. You can create a leadership roadmap, which gives leadership a high-level view of your overall progress or priorities that you're working on. You can create an engineering roadmap, which looks at what's being worked on now, next, later. And finally, you can create product roadmaps for each product area. So those teams can plan their specific work and focus on updates that relate to them. In Canny, audience-specific roadmaps make it really easy to tailor visibility, keep everyone aligned, and build that trust by showing progress that matters to each group. So here's an example of a go-to-market roadmap that you could use. So GTM members really only need to know a few key details, like who's owning this feature so they know who to reach out to for more information or to answer any questions. Usually GTM members want to know how many people have voted on this, potentially looking at a specific segment, like how many high value customers have voted on this. And also having a number beside it, like the annual spend or the monthly spend, is really helpful as well. One idea that I see from many of our business customers is they create a score called GTM stack rank or sales stack rank or CS stack rank, whatever it may be. But basically, it's a way to let your customer facing teams stack rank features based on what they believe is most important to their customers. We've been trying to do that actually at Canny recently, which is cool. I also recommend grouping your roadmap by status. Um, and so it's just really easy to see that swim lane of what's being worked on now, next, later. If you're still trying to figure out the best way to set up or score your roadmap, just a few things to think about. Number one, what already are you talking about with your team? What matters most when you're deciding what to build? So start with those conversations that your team are already having, which is maybe like, how many people are requesting this? What's the impact, revenue impact? How urgent is this? So think about conversations you're already having and how you can apply that in Canny. Do you need more than one roadmap? So some customers like to have roadmaps for um, different quarters, different sprints. So you don't need to have everything on one roadmap. Feel free to make multiple roadmaps to make it easy to see everything that's going on. And then number three is looking at who's going to use this roadmap. So going back to what we talked about, which is audience-specific roadmaps, think about who's going to need to see this information. And so that will help you kind of narrow down the information you need to add to that roadmap. So yeah, knowing your audience makes it really easy to know how much detail you need to include. But you don't need to track everything. Just focus on what helps your team make clear and confident decisions. Once you have the right roadmaps in place, you've prioritized and scored your work, you are then able to push roadmap items directly into your dev tool or product management tool, which helps to keep those two teams aligned. You can also set up a rule in Canny to update post statuses automatically. So for example, when a task is marked as complete in Asana, it will be marked as complete in Canny as well. And the benefit of this, of course, is that we're reducing manual work and we're keeping everyone in the loop as well. Just so you know, this is only available on Pro and our old plans growth, our old plans growth and Pro, sorry, and on our business plan. So just something to be mindful of. I also wanted to share some really helpful features that work well in the roadmap. The first one is tags. It's a really great way to organize and group your posts that are related. They're really flexible, so they can be added at any time. And it's just a lightweight way to keep track of your team's workflow. Another great feature that you can check out is post fields. Post fields give you an extra layer of organization. You can think of them as like structured pillars in your internal feedback database. So how it works is in Canny, you already have default fields that come with posts. So you'll have like board, status, owner, and then on top of that, you can create custom fields. So for example, I've created one here called urgency, which allows me to report on the urgency of a particular post. But the real benefit comes in the roadmap because you're able to group your roadmap by those custom or default fields. So for instance, in this roadmap, I've just organized it by the urgency. So post fields make it really easy to keep your feedback organized, not only in the feedback view, but primarily in the roadmap view. To create a post field, head over to your settings. From there, you can choose which type of field you want to create. To use the group feature in the roadmap, it needs to be a drop-down option. So just something to keep in mind, and you can have up to 25 options for a drop-down. In my roadmap, I'm using tags and I'm using a custom post field to organize my items. Tags are representing quarters in this case, and the custom field is representing the urgency. But again, I'm also able to group my roadmap by that custom field that I've just created called urgency as well. So just giving you a little example of how tags and post fields can be used in roadmaps. Okay, so far we've talked about our internal roadmaps, but let's now discuss our external facing roadmaps, which again is a way to help communicate what we're working on with our customers. So your external facing roadmap is found on your external portal, which is at the bottom of the page. Your public roadmap is in Canny is powered by statuses, and each post in Canny has its own status. So you can keep both your internal teams and your customers aligned on where a feature is in its product lifecycle. The public roadmap, sorry, displays posts based on those statuses. Usually we recommend having under review, planned, and in progress toggled on. But you can choose whichever status you want to share publicly. And then every time you update a post status, it will automatically move the post to the right column in your roadmap. If you only want to share specific boards in your external roadmap, you can easily do this in general settings, portal home, that's where you would go, and you would toggle off the boards that you do not want to show. Once you save that option, if we jump back into our public view, you'll see here only 2 boards are being shown here. If you don't want to share your external roadmap at all, you can easily turn this off. It's found in the same place, general settings, portal home, and then you can toggle off that roadmap option. And if we look at our public page here, you'll see that no roadmap is listed. And your customers are also able to easily search for feedback in the external facing roadmap as well. They're able to do this by clicking on the filter button and then choosing which board or category they want to see. Cool. So in today's session, we chatted a little bit about different features that exist on different plans. If you are interested in learning more about the different plans we offer here at Canny, please head over to our pricing page, or of course, reach out to our support team, and our lovely Sarah and our team will be happy to answer any questions you have regarding pricing or anything else that you have. But that is our presentation today about roadmaps. Thank you so much for your attention and your time. Sarah, should we open it up for questions?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you everybody for your engagement. It's really exciting when we get questions coming in. And if you think of questions after the session is over, please feel free to reach out to our support team. And if it's technical, they'll probably redirect you to me, and I'm happy to chat through your problem through there as well. So one question, actually, we got this question twice, which is great. Is it possible to share the internal roadmap with my execs, even though they are not on Canny?
Yes, you can, absolutely. You're able to share the roadmap. I wonder if we have a little. So can we pause this? No, but you'll see at the top here of this video, sorry, you'll see create view and then share just below create view under the filter option. So that's where you're able to share the roadmap out. You just put in the email address and then it will share a link to that individual. And it's live, read only, so they won't be able to make any edits, but it should edit in real time as well. Is that right, Sarah, that it will edit in real time?
Yeah, they won't be able to make any edits or delete or add any posts, but they'll be able to see the view as it is.
Cool. Good question.
So we got that twice. If anyone has more questions about that, please feel free to ask. The second question we had is, can I control which users see which posts on the public roadmap? So we do only have currently one public roadmap, which means that like you only have one roadmap and it's only dependent on what the status of the post is, which we know is quite limited, and we, often talk about ways to expand that. But if you do have, different segments, and you want different user segments to view different posts, what I would recommend is creating 2 separate boards. So if you create 2 boards, and you are then only making that board visible to the segment that you want to be able to view the post within it, then the roadmap will only display the posts that that user has access to. And so that's probably the easiest way to get the roadmap to be customized by user group, is that if they have access to board A and not board B, they will only ever see board A posts in the public roadmap, which is essentially ensuring that they only see the posts that are relevant to them. Yeah, if anyone has more questions about that, feel free to jump into the Q&A to ask that. So we had a few more questions that came in while we were talking. Let's see. one person said, how do I add account name and ARR to users? And can vote count at the account level instead of a user level? Do you want me to take that or do you want to, Julia?
You can take that. Thanks, Sarah.
I think there's two parts of that. The first one is how to add account name and ARR to users. So we have many integrations on Canny, but if you don't want to integrate with any tools like Salesforce, HubSpot, Segment, Intercom, we got a ton of them. But if you want to use, we can also use our API or our SDK. So we've got lots of to do it manually. Sorry, they just said, can we do it manually? And you can't do it manually from the UI, but you can do it through the API. And so if you were to send the data to the API, then that will allow you to send that custom information in through there. If you use our Canny SDK, which a lot of people use because I find it really amazing and awesome, and it's available on all of our plans. But essentially, it's just a short little snippet of code that you put into your website or application, and whenever your users log in, you send their data to Canny, and everything that your app already has access to, you can decide what actually matters on Canny for you to make decisions and send that over to Canny. And then that way, when you're back onto Canny, you have that relevant information and it's up to date. And you didn't really have to do much. It's like 5 lines of code, I believe, and super quick for any development team to implement. So I would say that's the go-to approach initially, and then we have lots of powerful integrations that allow you to add even more data if that's what you're looking for. Um, the next question, the next part of that question is, can votes count at the account level instead of the user level? So that one has a bit of a complexity to it. In your roadmap, what you can do when you're creating impact factors is you can, update the factor based on the MRR of a company or like an annual revenue of a company. So you can use attributes on the company level to score the field. So that it's not the vote that changes, but your scoring changes based on what company that vote is associated with. So that's what you can do right now on Canny. The second part of it is a bit more complex to explain because it relates to a huge feature that we are hoping to release in the near future called Canny Ideas, and that will allow you in the future to associate a vote or interest essentially with an account instead of a user. And so that's a big piece that's coming soon. And if you're interested in doing that and you feel like that's a big improvement to your workflow on Canny to be able to associate accounts instead of users, just message us on support@canny.io. We'll talk to you and see if you're a good fit. And if you are, we'll add you to our closed beta because we are currently doing some testing with our new feature.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, we should be talking about it in our next office hours, that feature. So if you're interested, be sure to join our December office hours.
Yeah. Okay, so we have more, Julia.
Okay.
The next one is, does that count towards our 100 voters in the plan? So no, if you are to send us user data, and you have the option to only send us user data to users that are like pressing a button to navigate to Canny. But if you use our Canny SDK to send us your users, your user doesn't count towards a tracked user count unless they vote. So you can store 100 users on Canny, but unless, they actually vote or comment or post, they don't count on the tracked user count. So it's the activity that makes them a tracked user, not their existence in Canny. So, you can have thousands of people log in and look at your stuff and they won't be tracked users. I hope that answers that question there. Okay. Um, so the next one is, I came in a little late. I heard you mention something about using the drop-down post category to make groupings in the internal roadmap. May you share more about this and if it's available on the free plan?
Yes. So post fields are I think they're available on the free plan, but we can validate that for you. But yeah, what I was saying is that there are free details that come or fields that come with Canny. So like your status, owner, etc. But then you can also create custom fields as well. To create that, you would just head over to your settings, go to fields, and then create a new field, but you have to select the drop-down option in order to utilize that in the roadmap. So you can see here, I created a custom field called urgency. I don't know if you can see that. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth from the bottom. So that's a custom field I created. And you can see in this little video here, if it plays. Sorry, it's a pre-recorded video, so it's a little slow, but you'll see that I'm able to switch this from to add a swim lane or group it by urgency, which is that custom field I created. Did that answer your question?
Yeah,
If
feel
not,
free. This came from
yeah,
Adam. Adam, if you have clarifying questions, feel free to message
yeah.
or reach out to us and we can talk to you further about that. Okay, we have, I think, are we at time, Julia, or do we have time for one more?
We have time for one more.
Okay, so I'm uncertain we'll be able to answer this one because I don't know if I 100% understand the question. If the person who asked this question would be interested in talking, we're happy to unmute you. But the question is, stack ranking seems like a fantastic feature. We use it in a survey tool, but being able to surface this through Canny would be amazing. Is
Mm.
this feature already available? I think what you mean by stack ranking is just is ranking posts against each other. Is that what you mean by stack ranking? Stack ranking? In which case, if you are thinking about ranking posts against each other, I think our roadmap scoring is exactly the way to go there. Oh, I see, Julie, you have CSM stack rank.
Yeah, it's just a little best practice that you can do. So you would just create a score. It would be a custom score. You would title it GTM stack rank or CSM stack rank. And then you would just allow your GTM members to rank which features they deem as a priority based on conversations they're having with their customers. You would choose the type, which if we just jump back for a second, when you create a score, there's a few things you need to fill out. So you need to fill out the impact factor, the type, and then the weight. So the type would be, I would put 0 to 100, and then they can kind of stack rank accordingly. You don't necessarily need to add a weight unless you want it to be included in your equation. So that's what we were discussing in the call about that. But yeah, if you want us to unmute you and if you want us to chat through it a little bit more, a little bit further, we're happy to do that.
Okay, got it. It's clear. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Okay, Martin, I know you had one more question about Tability. I will reach out to you after this call so we can chat through that as well. And we can kind of work through that if you have further questions. I'll pass it back to you, Julia.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks everyone so much for your time and your dedication and asking all these wonderful questions. Again, we are going to share the recording of this call along with the deck too. Please feel free to reach out to our support team. You can always reach out to me as well. We're always happy to help wherever we can. But thank you so much again for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk soon.